Have you ever asked yourself, what is it going to take? Exactly what do I need to do and how long it's going to take for you to go from wherever you are right now to the strongest, fittest, most muscular, by far the best physically and mentally version of you. If that was ever on your mind, today we're going to go deep into every single stage of the 3 stages of that process, exactly what to do, how long it's going to take, and it's going to absolutely change the game for you forever, I guarantee you. But before we go there, click the subscribe button below, because on this channel, you're going to learn how to build a strong, healthy, high-performing 7-figure body without starvation, cardio, giving up carbs, or taking steroids, which, as you know, in this industry is more common than not. So smash that like button below and let's go. What's up, everybody? This is Coach Amir from 7figurebody.com. And in today's video, I have to say, this is probably going to be the most valuable video that I've ever made, the most important video I've ever made. The reason for that is because we're going to talk about how to go from wherever you are right now. It doesn't matter if you are maybe not as strong as you want to be. Maybe you are carrying way more body fat that you would like. Maybe you're not as lean as you want to be. Maybe you are just so far from where your perfect body is, your perfect level of energy, you know, the way you look and feel and perform is maybe not where you want it to be. Today, we're going to cover all of this in 3 stages. So there are 3 stages to that. And without further ado, let's go straight into it. So the first stage is getting you as lean as you want to be. So remember, there are 3 phases or 3 parts that we need to do, and they will slightly change as we go through the 3 phases, but let me first share these 3 with you. So these are the 3 things that we need to be doing basically all the time, forever, right? It doesn't matter if you are less lean, less muscle, more muscle, if you're 50 years old or 20, we basically need to be doing these 3 things all the time anyway. They are, number 1, diet. So we need to figure out what is the proper diet for you. Number 1, because this gets you lean. This controls your body fat percentage level, how lean or less lean you are. Number 2 is going to the gym and building muscle. And again, this can be working out at home. This doesn't have to be the gym, but basically you are doing resistance training because this builds muscle, okay? And this changes over time as well, how many times you need to be in the gym, what kind of workouts you need to be doing, etc. So the first thing, diet gets you lean. Number 2, resistance training builds muscle. And number 3 is general steps, or meaning generally being active, which we do that through tracking steps or, you know, in some other way, tracking your activity levels throughout the day. So these 3 things are always the same. They never change. The principles, the pillars of the healthy, strong, high energy and high productivity, you know, body that lives for a long time. These are the 3 things that never change. They're always the same. These are the principles, okay? Just like for business, there's marketing, sales, and delivery. Nothing ever changes that. It doesn't matter if you have a $100 billion a year company or $10,000 a year company. These are the 3 things: marketing, sales, and delivery. So in this world, we have diet that gets you lean, resistance training that builds muscle, and number 3, being overall active, which again, as I said, we measure that through steps. So let's go into the first stage of the 3 stages of going from where you are now to where you want to be, whatever the goal is. The first stage is getting you really lean. That is, in these 3 things, the first thing we want to focus on the most is dialing in your diet, because this is going to allow us to burn all the body fat that you want and get into really, really amazing shape. And this phase is usually a couple months long. Okay, so how long is it? It depends on how much body fat you have to lose. Again, most of my clients get completely transformed anywhere between 3 to 6 months. This is vast majority of people. Now, why? Because vast majority of people need to lose anywhere between 20 and 40 pounds of fat. Most of it. Now, maybe that's not you. Maybe you have 10 pounds of fat to lose. Awesome. Then you can do that in, 2 to 3 months. Maybe you need to lose 70 pounds. Okay, then you're not going to do that in 3 to 6 months. It's probably going to take a little bit longer, probably 6 to 9 months, etc., right? But generally speaking, this stage is very short because it's only a couple of months. Remember, as an entrepreneur, we always have a long-term perspective, meaning if you're 40 years old, and as I always said, I believe that any human body can, with proper care, can live up to 100. So if you're 40 years old, you have 60 more years to live. If you're 30 years old, you have 70 more years to live. So if you look at it from a standpoint of 70 years, then this first stage of couple of months, again, several months, this can be, again, for most people, 3 to 6 months, is very, very, very short. but it's probably one of the hardest ones because you need to change a lot of things, especially when it comes to what you eat. Also, how about in this first phase, what do we do with working out? How many times you need to work out? I've said this many times before, cardio you don't need to do at all in this stage in order to lose weight if you don't like doing cardio. I would much rather you don't do cardio at all than you hate cardio and I'm like forcing you, no, you gotta do cardio. It's just gonna make it so much harder for you to stick to it. In this phase, I wanna make it as easy as possible for you to stick to the program. And because of that, I say cardio you don't have to do unless you like it. On the other hand, resistance training twice a week, 45 minutes to an hour each time, for most people is going to be more than enough. Now, I would highly suggest that you abandon the silliness of like, oh, how about if I work out for 15 minutes or 10-minute workouts, stupidities like that. That's genuinely stupid. I don't think anybody should be doing it because what kind of workout are you going to get in 10 minutes? Somebody says, I don't have time other than 10 minutes. Well, going to wherever you're going to work out, warming up, all these things are longer than 10 minutes. And actually, that's why I say commit to twice a week. If you can't find, quote unquote, 45 minutes twice a week, then you have much bigger problems than that. Like you need to organize your life better because of course you have the time. So all of these people who say, I don't have twice a week, 45 minutes. You don't have 45 minutes twice a week? Okay, are you on Facebook at all? Are you on any social media, Instagram, YouTube? Are you watching Netflix? Do you have a TV? Are you watching TV? Okay, are you doing that 45 minutes twice a week? You are? Of course you are. Everybody is. Oh, so then you actually do have time to go to the gym or to your garage or wherever to work out for 45 minutes. You just choose not to. So that's an excuse, okay? So in this first stage, we got to focus on diet. That's by far the biggest thing. Number two, because that gets you lean. Number two is going to the gym or working out at home, whatever, doing resistance training twice a week, 45 minutes to an hour each time. And then the third thing is how many steps should you be doing? The goal is to get to 10,000 steps. So if you're doing 3,000 steps now, we need to gradually increase that over a couple of weeks and months until we get to 10K, and that 10K steps per day become the norm. Just for reference, that's like 4 to 5 miles of walking every day. And I would much prefer that you don't take 1 hour and just walk for that hour and then sit on, in a chair for 10 hours the rest of the day. I would much rather you break it down into smaller 5 to 10 minutes each time walks, right? So this is not like workout. You don't need to focus on, actually it's better if you don't focus hour of walking per day, which again, it's much better than not doing any, of course. But generally speaking, remember the point of steps is not the steps. The point is to be active and not be sedentary. And because of that, I would much rather you break it down into, 5-minute walks 10 times a day rather than walking one time an hour, right? So that's the point. We're trying to not be sedentary. We're going to be active. So that's stage one, okay? Probably the hardest one because all of these things are new. You got to change a lot of things, etc. Stage two now is we have gotten you lean. So let's say you are a man and you want to get six-pack lean or close to that. Let's say you want to get to 14, 15% body fat. So you don't have visible abs, but you're very lean. There's no gut, there's no love handles. You're very lean. At that level, now we go into stage two. Stage two is building the amount of muscle that is very close to your maximum natural genetic muscular potential, okay? That is going to take again, anywhere from 1 to 5 years, depending on how much of an advanced lifter or beginner or intermediate lifter you already are. Now, good news here, while most men think that they're advanced, most men are absolutely in the beginner stage, which is a great thing. Even if they've been in the gym for 20 years, they're probably like early intermediate or late beginner stage. And again, of course, most ego-driven men will be like, what do you know? I've been in the gym since I was high school. Yeah, I get it. I've been in the gym for 25 years. First 10 years of that was literally like, I could get, a random person off the street today to get better results in 6 months of training than I got in the first 10 years. Why? Because I had no clue what I was doing. There was no internet back then. There was no coaches. We didn't have any money for coaches, even if they existed. So we basically were doing things wrong until something breaks, means we get injured. And they were like, yeah, we probably shouldn't do that, etc. So 10 years down the drain. Most people spend many, 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 many years in the gym without basically any results. They don't even look like they lift. So, and again, this is not a judgment on them. I've been there. It's just we don't know what we don't know. That's all there is. So because of that, this stage two, priorities change because remember, in stage 1, the main thing is getting you lean. Like, are you going to put a lot of muscle in the first couple of months? Yeah, you can put, a pound or two of muscle per month. So over 3-4 months, yeah, it's going to be a few pounds of muscle, sure, but it's not going to change your physique completely. What's going to be the biggest difference in stage 1 is leanness level. You're going to go from overweight, if you are overweight, of course, to lean. So you can be crazy lean, like six-pack lean, or just a little less lean, but still you're going to go from overweight to lean, and fitter, stronger, yes, but it's not going to be like a huge difference muscle-wise. In stage 2, we're actually continuing with building muscle, and things have to be focusing on you building muscle, okay? So in the first stage, we're focusing on the diet that gets you lean. Second stage, the diet kind of just now becomes maintenance because you reach the level of leanness, and then you just maintain that from now on. But now we're focusing on training properly and with more intensity and volume and everything else so that we build muscle. This stage can last, again, depending on where you are, somewhere between 1 and 4 years maybe. If you've never lifted weights, probably up to 5 years. That's stage 2. And then what happens with steps in this case? Nothing. We just keep that steps level, 10,000 or so. If you go a little bit over, a little bit lower than 10,000 steps a day, no problem. That's still fine. You're still going to be active, okay? Now, we enter stage 3, and stage 3 is the stage where I'm the happiest to see my clients get into, which is now we're basically maintenance everything, because remember, in stage 1, we got really lean and we stayed lean throughout the years, and then 2, 3, 4 years later, you built a really, really good amount of muscle and you're very close to your maximum muscular potential. Now, there's no more muscle to build. So what do we do in stage 3? We basically maintain leanness with a proper diet that is at maintenance, which is much easier to do than being in deficit. Whoops. Then stage 2 is we're building muscle. And then once we built the muscle, what do? We just basically maintain the muscle, which is much easier, again, than it is to build muscle. And then in stage 3, so now we're in stage 3, which is basically from that point on until the rest of your life. So let's say hypothetically, you're overweight, not in great shape, 35-year-old, okay? So it took us 3 to 6 months to get you really lean. That's stage 1. So still, you're 35, okay? Now, let's say it took us 3 more years to build like 20, 30 pounds of muscle on you. And now you are really lean, muscular, you're strong, you feel and look amazing, you perform at the highest level, and now you're 38. And now we're going to live to 100 years, so you got like 60 plus more years to live. And that stage 3 is 60 years long. What do we do in stage 3? We maintain leanness by being in maintenance calories, okay? We maintain muscle by doing 1 to 2, probably 2 full body workouts each week. And then, what is the steps? Well, when it comes to steps, we basically just maintain. Again, doing 10 to whatever, 12, 13,000 steps a day. We just maintain that. But in this level, in order to live 100 years old, we introduce a new thing, which is we got to do cardio and be VO2 max or cardio fit. Okay, we got to focus on your VO2 max, and that we do with cardio sessions. And again, I have a minimalist or a elite protocol for how to be at elite level for your age and gender at any age when it comes to your VO2 max level, and then how to be, minimalist, which is you say, okay, I'm not really a fan of cardio, but I want to do what it takes to be in a really good level. So I'm not below average, I'm actually really good. So depending on that, it's how much training you do. And in short, maybe an hour aerobic base like level cardio session per week, which is, let's say you and I are running together and we can hardly, but we can maintain conversation, that level of intensity for 1 hour of cardio per week, and then 1 VO2 max session, which is a higher intensity interval training. And then if you want to be in great shape in like above average and elite level, which for myself, I always want to be elite in all of these. And that's what I want for my clients too, because I have higher standards for them than, the average. And then in the elite level, you got to do 3 hours of cardio, and then 1 VO2 max session per week on top of your twice a week, gym sessions and maintaining the leanness level with the proper diet. Guys, that is basically the 3 levels from going, wherever you are now from today until first stage getting lean, second stage building maximum amount of muscle, stage 3 living to be 100 years old. So hope this makes sense. Please ask any questions in the comments below. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions of where you are right now, how to, organize all of this. And by the way, if you'd like to chat about how to do this for you, you can click in the description below. There is a link you can click. And when you go to that page, just give us what your name and email is so we know where to send it. I'm going to send you a full breakdown video on exactly how to do this. how I've transformed 1,200 clients so far in the last 14 years. Myself, how I've gotten from a fat kid to a pro athlete, Olympic Games candidate and a 3-time national champion, to now a coach that's basically been doing this my whole life. And 1,200 plus clients that I've transformed so far. We've all used the same system, and I break down that system in that video A to Z. Okay, so please click that button below. I'm also going to give you, when you do that, I'm going to send you a free digital version of my book, which is going to be by far the book you've ever read in this field. I absolutely guarantee it. So guys, please let me know if you like this video. Click the like button below, and any questions you have, put them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. And thank you for watching. See you next time. Cheers.